Wakanda has been ruled by generations of kings and queens that also serve as the nation's protector, known as the Black Panther. In this video, we'll talk about previous, current, and future generations of the rulers of Wakanda, from on-screen adaptations. First, we'll explain 10 different versions of the Black Panther that we've seen in the MCU. Starting with the superhero's debut appearance in Civil War. This is T'Challa in his first vibranium weave combat suit that he wore as Black Panther, a role that he took over from his father even before becoming king. The gloves had retractable, sharp vibranium claws that could cut through almost anything, and the nearly indestructible suit complements the user's enhanced strength that he got from Wakanda's heart-shaped herb. Its major drawback, however, is that it needs to be put on manually like regular clothing. Which brings us to T'Challa's second suit, which he started using shortly after formally ascending the throne, as seen in the first Black Panther movie. This upgraded suit is made with nanotech, which allows it to be stored entirely in a single necklace. It glows in a distinct purple color when absorbing and storing kinetic energy. Moving back a bit, we have to mention T'Challa's ceremonial attire during the duels at Warrior Falls, which includes a traditional panther mask, marking him as the representative of the nation's golden tribe. Without his armor, and with his powers stripped off, he had to fight any challengers to the throne on equal grounds. And we saw how M'Baku wore a monkey version of the ceremonial mask, as his tribe worshipped a different god. Next, we'll talk about Killmonger and his flashy gold leopard-themed suit that he wore during his extremely short-lived reign as King of Wakanda. Similar to T'Challa's second outfit, this nanotech-based suit is also stored inside a necklace. Killmonger also used a traditional Wakandan sword and short spear made of vibranium. Despite its different color theme, the suit had all the features of T'Challa's upgraded suit, along with the same weakness, as its form could be disrupted by strong magnetic fields. Next, we'll dial it back a few decades to talk about T'Challa's father, the late King T'Chaka. During his reign, he used a different Black Panther suit with golden linings, with a traditional Wakandan garment fitted over his right shoulder area. It was basically an older generation suit, similar to T'Challa's first outfit. In his later years, T'Chaka chose to focus more on his duties as king, and had already passed down the role of Black Panther to his son. And in an alternate universe seen in Marvel's What If, T'Chaka was part of the 1980s Avengers team, formed to thwart the celestial ego's plans of conquering Earth.
King T'Chaka of the African Kingdom of Wakanda.
Now we'll jump back to recent times and talk about Shuri, who succeeded his brother as the Black Panther following his untimely demise. With the heart-shaped herb gardens having been burned down during Killmonger's rule, she recreated a synthetic version of it for herself, along with a new nanotech vibranium Black Panther suit. This costume had similar markings to the ones on Shuri's face, and had sonic blast gauntlets on both hands. And let's talk briefly about Shuri's old gear, where she previously wore these panther-shaped vibranium gauntlets, which are bulkier than the nanotech versions that came later with her suit. They were shown to have two different settings of sonic energy blasts, separate strong single shots, or a weaker but continuous flow. Now let's jump centuries back to the past, to mention Bashenga, the warrior shaman who first united the 5 warring tribes of Wakanda, and became their first king. A vision from the goddess Bast led him to the strength-enhancing heart-shaped herb, which he consumed to become the first Black Panther. Bashenga made a proper appearance in the non-MCU animated series, Avengers: Black Panther's Quest. And about that Panther goddess Bast who came to Bashenga, she made a physical appearance in Thor: Love and Thunder, alongside other MCU deities in Omnipotent City. Here, we saw her in a non-speaking role, in her humanoid form. It's also interesting to note that she's part of the Ennead mentioned in Moon Knight, a group of super-gods worshipped in Africa. Now the next one here is more of a bonus mention, as it's from a MCU-related VR game, but doesn't exactly fit anywhere in the timeline, but we may as well consider it an alternate reality. 2019's Avengers Damage Control featured these armors made by Shuri that combined the technologies from Wakanda and Stark Industries, resulting in these Iron Man-like Black Panther suits. Now let's look back at the entire line of kings and queens of Wakanda so far, and talk about several ones that haven't been featured properly in the MCU. T'Challa, aka Azuri, was the father of T'Chaka and king of Wakanda during the Second World War. In Marvel's What If Season 2, T'Chaka said that his father donated some vibranium to the Allied forces to help with the war effort. And it was this vibranium that was used to make Captain America's shield.
Your father was a great ally to us during the war.
Yes, I understand you even donated some vibranium to your efforts.
We made a shield out of it.
Marvel's 1943 Rise of Hydra video game, which is not tied to the MCU, tells a different story, as King Azuri disapproves of Captain America's shield as the vibranium was acquired without their consent.
That shield that you hide behind does not belong to you. You are unworthy of it.
King Azuri was also featured in Avengers: Black Panther Quest as the Wakandan king during World War II.
Amount of zeal, but there's a war going on out there.
Now let's talk about the other ones here. Ramonda had to become queen upon her son T'Challa's death, but she herself never became Black Panther. That title was assumed by her daughter afterwards. Shuri, however, never became queen, and left the throne to M'Baku unchallenged, making him the current king of Wakanda. It is currently unknown if the leader of the Jabari tribe would become a Black Panther, or, since he worships the monkey god Hanuman, would get a full-body vibranium gorilla suit of sorts. And of course, there's Toussaint, or T'Challa II, son of T'Challa. We can presume that he would become both king and Black Panther sometime in the future. In other media, T'Challa's son is named Azari, whose mother is Storm. His first appearance was in the animated movie Next Avengers. Azari inherited his father's herb-enhanced strength and is able to generate and control electricity like his mother. Going back to the MCU, they did actually feature many other unnamed previous Black Panthers/Wakandan kings of the past during T'Challa's trip to the ancestral plane.
And we have to mention T'Challa and Killmonger's unique variants from What If Season 1, both founding members of the Guardians of the Multiverse. This T'Challa was taken away to space at a young age and grew up to become the legendary outlaw Star-Lord. And his variant cousin from another universe, Killmonger, had a long, interesting career as a backstabbing villain, even acquiring the Infinity Stones along with Ultron's armor at one point. There's also the Eyes of Wakanda TV show that is set in the main MCU timeline and will feature more previous Black Panthers of the past. We've tried not to bloat this video with mentions of other Black Panthers seen throughout history from the comics, and instead focus on the ones that have appeared on screen only. We'll save all of those for another upcoming video. Thanks for watching.